What is up, my nerd familia, and welcome to Games y Mas, the podcast where we dive deep into the world of board games, video games, and a little bit of pop culture. I'm your host, Vic, and I would like to be the first to welcome you here to our little corner of nerdom. Whether you are a diehard anime fan, a manga reader, a film buff, to a casual, intermediate, cozy board gamer, to an aspiring esports star in the video game world, or to everything in between, this podcast is for you. We would love to engage with you guys, share some stories within the nerd familia, so come join us. If anything that we've said resonates with you, hey, join our wacky adventures here at Games y Mas. We would love to have you here. So, with all that being said, pull up a chair, grab some dice, y acompáñame a jugar. So, we are live. Matt and Jesse, thank you so much for joining us here on the podcast.
Absolutely.
Here. Yes, thank you. I'm so excited to talk about, getting to know you guys. It's going to be the first for me as well. So I'm going to get to know you guys. So I'm there with the audience. As well.
Yeah.
We're going to get to know you. Yeah. Yes, exactly. We're doing it live. We're doing it here live. So I'm very excited here. For those that are watching or listening for the first time, I just want to say thank you. Hopefully you're having a good start to your new year, 2026. Yeah. So, well, for those that are listening, I just want to say thank you for the first timers. So welcome to the Nerd Familia. Hopefully this is right up your alley and you might join us here. Again, we're on socials. You can find us on X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, at Games Must Pod. That is at Games Must Pod. Hit that like and subscribe follow button that like all the YouTubers like to say. Give us a follow, rate us, give us 5 stars. Let us know what you think. Let's grow the algorithm here and to spread the word of Games y Mas to everyone that's in the nerd culture. Because this podcast is for you guys. This is for you. This is not my podcast. This is your guys' podcast and yours as well, man. Jesse, this is your guys' podcast as well. And so. Yeah, so I'm very excited to talk with you guys about your guys' game and get to know you guys here. But before we get into the whole meat of the podcast, let's do some icebreaker questions. We like to do here at Games y Mas some icebreaker questions to our first-time guests here. And so, yeah, I'm very excited to ask you this 2-part question. Again, feel free if you can't answer any of these ones, we can skip right ahead. But I'm very excited to hear you guys' answers. So I'll give you the 2 questions, and then I'll let you guys take it from there and answer this. The first question, again, we are a nerd podcast and a board game and a video game and a pop culture podcast. So the first question is, what is your guys' favorite board game of all time, childhood game? Now, this, yes, I get the same reaction every time I ask that question. Everyone's just like, oh my goodness.
All time really expands.
Yes.
The possibilities there.
Yeah, exactly. What I'll do is sometimes, being that you guys are board gamers, I like to do top 3. I'll do a top 3. If you want to go a top 3, it includes everything from the ranges of dice games, party games, card games, Euros, Ameritrash, you can name it all. We'll go from there. And then the second question is, what is your guys' favorite video game of all time? If you have a video game that you've enjoyed, a childhood game. Again, if it's something that you can't narrow down, we'll go top 3. And including there, not just console like Xbox, PlayStation, or PC. I'm also including arcade. Maybe there's an arcade game that's a childhood game of yours that you just enjoy playing in the arcade or something like that. I'll include all that. And so we're setting the parameters there. I'm going to leave it to you guys. The floor is yours, man. Jesse, I'll let you guys decide who wants to go first, but take it away. I'm very curious about you guys. I know, yeah. No pressure, guys. No pressure.
How do you want to tackle this, Jesse?
We
switch off. Are you ready? I'm ready with favorite board game of all time. That one for me is.
And then I think
easy
switch off. Let's do thematic. We'll do board games first. You, then me.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So favorite board game for me of all time is actually. It took me no time to think of this answer. So my dad is a hardcore board gamer, and that's where I got my board game love from. So, we've got a giant wall in my house growing up that's just filled with board games, floor to ceiling.
Nice.
And he's like, it's all the complex Euro games and all that stuff. He's hardcore. So, me and my friends got into playing his board games growing up. And the one in particular that we latched onto, and Jesse, I'm fairly confident I played this with you. And Vic, I'm curious if you know it. Have you played Shadows over Camelot?
Shadows over Camelot. Yes, I've heard of the game. I haven't got a chance to play it, but yes.
Okay. So Shadows over Camelot, for me growing up, I was obsessed with it. And the reason is that I love a legit strategy game, where it takes a long time to learn and you play it for a couple hours. Like I love like a game you really, really sink into like that. But I also love like social deduction games and anything with that, with like a heavy social element to it. And Shadows over Camelot's the perfect mix of those. Because what it is all of the people, it's a cooperative game where everybody is one of the knights of the round table. And you're going around you're doing the quest for the Holy Grail and the quest for Excalibur and etc. But one among you is secretly the traitor.
Yes.
So if you think of a game like, like Werewolf or something, where you're trying to figure out who the werewolf is, it's that, but like a, 2-hour Euro game version of it.
Yeah.
And slowly over time, if you're the traitor, you're trying to, plant seeds of sabotage. And my friends and I would play this game and get so into it, just screaming across the table at who's the traitor and who's not the traitor. And then, some of us, I think Jesse and I both have a theater background. And I think because of it, we both tend to thrive in the theatrical acting games like that. Where, playing the role of the good guy when we're seeing. Yeah.
I think that's a great lead in, because that actually reminds me of the summer that Matt and I met. Which we met working in professional theater together. This was, at this point, greater than 10 years ago. We were like randomly
15 years ago
paired
now.
together.
Yes.
Yeah. Randomly paired together as roommates. And you had Shadows over Camelot with you. We played that summer in like one of the theater housing's creepy basements. And when we thought one of our friends was the traitor, we like banished him to a closet. We were like, out of this room.
Be gone from these lands.
Yeah.
There's a card in the game where you can capture somebody, and I haven't played this game in years, so I don't remember exactly the function, but there's some element in the game where you can play a card and someone's captured until somebody else like frees them. And there was like so we were playing in the basement, and there was like this weird staircase that led, I think I'm remembering this correctly, it was like a staircase that led from the basement outside, but it was never used. It was all like cobwebs and stuff. So when you were captured on the card, you had to go physically sit in that staircase until somebody freed you in the game. So people would be sitting in there for like 40 minutes waiting to be let out. We were so committed.
I love that. That's awesome. That's so cool. Shadows over Camelot. Yes. I want to give a big shout out to Geek and Sundry. They're the reason why I discovered that game. So I'm still Will Wheaton and company. Yeah. I found out about that game and I was like, what is this game? What? Like, these games exist? Oh, snap. So it was, I've been wanting to play for sure. And now that you reminded me, I'm like, oh man, there was this one game that I learned, and it was Shadow of Camelot. And I'm like, that's not on my list. It's not on my shelf, and it needs to be on my shelf. So
it's a good one.
I need to snag it somewhere and get it somewhere for sure. But I like how you guys are getting into it and into the lore and into like immersing yourself into this world of Shadow. It's beautiful. It's great. I do that with Betrayal all the time. House on the Hill.
Oh, yeah.
I always get super deep into character, and it's great. It was fun. So excellent choice. Way to kick it off with a banger right there, man.
Oh man,
great choice here. Jesse, I'm curious to hear about your selection. What we got here? How are you gonna follow that up?
I know. This is a very tough one for me. So we'll see if I end up doing a top 3.
Okay.
I think where my mind went immediately is actually a relatively new game for me, which is Root.
Root, yes.
Yeah, kind of like I don't know how you would qualify that one, Vic. Maybe like it's like an asynchronous faction, bit of a control.
Area control. Yeah.
Depends a little bit on which faction you're playing, but all different win conditions.
Yes.
And I love that. I'm big on game mechanics, unique game mechanics, and like combinations that I haven't seen before. I am a fan of big games like Twilight Imperium, which Root is kind of like Twilight Imperium.
Yeah.
Doesn't take 14 hours.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then,
condensed version. Yeah.
And then also like simple games. One that Matt and I have talked about quite a lot, that I'll throw in there just because it's kind of fast paced. It's a bit of a party game. It was a huge one in my family growing up, so I also got into games by playing with my family. It's called Pass the Pigs.
Pass the pigs. Interesting. Never heard of that.
It is. I don't even know if it's still in print, but it had a lot of fun elements to it. It's kind of like a push your luck game. You're rolling dice, but the dice are actually these little rubberized pig figurines, and so you get points based on like how the pigs are landing on each other, and then you get to decide like, am I going to risk it for the biscuit, risk it for the bacon, and and go
Nice.
roll again. So that one's really fun. But I'm going to say my all-time favorite game, also from growing up, is a game called Dungeon.
Dungeon.
Which was released in 1975.
Oh, wow.
You were very young at the time.
I was very young. I didn't leave birth. I was playing this game. My parents owned this game. My parents were also very big nerds. Growing up in Berkeley. Well, they didn't grow up in Berkeley, but they were living in Berkeley, California.
Okay.
Shout out the Bay Area. And Dungeon is a board game version of Dungeons and Dragons, where it's kind of
cool.
you are moving through a linear board game path like you would with, I don't know, Candyland. But you move into these dungeons, and then with your character, you battle like a randomized creature, and try and win treasures and collect your treasures.
Wow.
This game I played probably by myself more than with anybody else, because nobody else wanted to really play with me. And so I'm there at 7 or 8 years old, just like playing multiple pawns worth of Dungeon for hours.
Yeah. Oh man. I like hearing those stories, but I'm also sad about the stories where like I had to play by myself because no one would play with me. I'm like, oh man.
If only we were all there together.
I know. I'll play with you, bro. I'll be all there. I bet your place all the time. We'd be playing all the time. No, definitely. No, I feel okay. Dungeon. I've never heard of that. Interesting. That's cool that they made a board game based off of D&D, which is pretty cool. You said 1970?
75, I think. Yeah.
I didn't even exist that day. Right. Okay, Dungeon, nice. And great selections. Yeah, Root is a fun game. Not a game for beginner board gamers, I would say, because that's a very tough game to just even explain, to be honest. Because it's like I can't tell you how to play, because then it's like I'm telling you how to win, and I'm trying to win. So it's like. Yeah. So it's very interesting game. A game that I definitely recommend for sure playing if you're trying to get more into the world of board gaming. But I love Root. I just played Ahoy from the same creator from Leader Games. Ahoy is phenomenal. It's such a great game. I love it. It's a little bit more simplified than Root, so I think you can like start with that. And if you want to be a pirate and stuff, and then you can move over to Root for sure. Twilight Imperium, great game, phenomenal 12-hour game. If you want to spend a whole day, you want to clock in for your shift and then start working, and then start getting and clock out at the end of the day. Great game, phenomenal game. That's a big, scary, intimidating game. But honestly, if you look into it, though, like the mechanics are pretty simple. They're not that too complex when it comes to Twilight Imperium. It just looks scary because it's so massive.
Lots of tiny little pieces.
Yeah, a lot of pieces going everywhere. You're having epic space battles everywhere. You are pretty much the Star Wars in that game. Definitely a great selection. Man, you guys have some great selections. That's awesome. Like you guys are making me like I gotta play these games now. I want to play Dungeon now. I want to play all these games. It's just it's awesome. Pass the Pigs. I think if we can find it here and stuff like that.
Pass the Pigs. So Pass the Pigs is definitely still in production, and so the regular Pass the Pigs are like this big, right? They're like dice. I'm also a high school teacher. Okay. I found a version of Pass the Pigs where the pigs are like this big and they're foam. And we play it in my class at the beginning of the year, and the whole class sits around in a big circle, and they get so into it. I have never seen these kids so competitive or so invested, and it's hilarious. So I love Pass the Pigs. It's so funny.
Big advocate for it. Yeah, definitely. I gotta look into it. Great. Okay, so good selections on the board games here. Now I'm very curious of the part 2 here of the video game area. Are we gamers? Are we casual gamers? Are we just like whatever? I've had a couple people here that said that they don't really play video games. So again, don't feel like you are like I'm not much of a gamer. No worries, you're not alone. Not everyone is, but I'm curious to know: do you guys have a top video game of all time? Top 3 video game of all time? What we got here? What we're going here?
I'll start us off, Matt.
Okay.
Okay. Same deal. My mind went right to one of my current obsessions, which is a game called Citizen Sleeper.
Citizen Sleeper.
It's a good title.
Yes. Yeah, it's intriguing. It makes you lift an eyebrow, go, what's going on?
Yeah.
It's a kind of a storytelling game. It's very you're making choices and then reading dialogue. But the art is really fantastic. The music is incredible. And basically, the start of the plot is you wake up, Citizen Sleeper, on a space station, and you are a being of sort of unknown origin, a like synthetic organism. And it's all about your attempts to survive on this kind of struggling space station. You actually do get, when you wake up every morning, because the game kind of works in cycles, you get a certain number of dice based on like how your condition is, what your health is, and things like that. And then you assign those dice to achieving different tasks, trying to like balance different clocks that are ticking down towards events, things like that.
Gotcha.
So it's a little complex, but it's a beautiful game. And very just inventive in its storytelling, which I think is cool. On the flip side, video games I did a lot growing up as well. I think I always think about like sleepovers with friends and things like that. And so on the Super Nintendo, there was a Jurassic Park game.
Yes.
Kind of like a little more than a side scroller. You're like moving in 3D space, sort of.
Yep.
But again, what really stands out to me about that one happens to be the music. Fantastic soundtrack.
Okay, yeah. That game is hard.
It was so hard.
That game is so hard. I'm playing it right now in the emulator, and I'm like, that is this. How do people play this game? It's so hard.
I did the same thing. I went back to it as an adult a couple of years back, and I was like, when I was a kid, I was just playing one level of this over and over again, and I kept dying at like level 2.
Yep.
What I was supposed to do.
Very fun game if you're into Jurassic Park. Great game to check out for sure for Super Nintendo. And then you said Citizen Sleeper for one of your top games to play. Great selection here, Citizen Sleeper. Yeah, it looks very interesting. I can't believe I missed this because like I'm all for like sci-fi, retro, kind of like dystopian kind of thing. So I can't believe this went over my head. Shame on me. But yeah, definitely. But all right, Matt, what do we got? Do we have anything on the list here for you for video game wise? Something?
Well, I will say we've saved the worst for last because I've never been I didn't grow up with video games. I am atrocious at video games. I do have an answer though.
Okay.
So I was thinking about it. As a kid, I played I played some computer games like on my desktop. So I was really into like I loved Age of Mythology and all those Age of the Empire, Age of Mythology in particular, I really liked.
Yeah.
And I played I had backyard baseball and Madden.
Yeah.
2001. Madden 2001 with Eddie George on the cover. I was a big fan.
Yes.
But my main answer for this is I did finally, eventually, as an adult, get an Xbox.
Okay.
And it was the first time I'd ever actually had a game system. And there was like a 3-year period where I really enjoyed it. And then I started having kids, and then it went in a shelf, and I never touched it again. So there's a 3-year window in my life where I did play a little bit of Xbox, and I had essentially one game that I would actually play, and it was the NBA 2K games. I'm a big sports fan.
Okay.
And the way I would play it is another friend of mine, who's also a big sports fan, we'd do online franchise mode. But the part that I was the most into is that what we would do is we would pick different cities to start expansion teams, and we would design the uniforms, do like full branding for these fictional teams, and then we'd play with those teams for 20 game years, and then we'd do a new one. And as we'll get into our own game soon, but I'm really into graphic design, and so I'd be on Photoshop designing logos. We'd spend hours building logos and uniform combinations for these fictional teams, and I was so into it. And that's probably my favorite video game experience that I've had out of the minimal video games experiences that I've really had.
Oh, man.
Is there a fictional team name, mascot, player name that jumps to mind that you recall from this 3-year period?
I think my favorite, I think my favorite one was, so I was living in Carlsbad at the time, and there was the train that runs from Carlsbad into San Diego. It was called the Coaster, and Carlsbad is also on the coast. So the team was the Carlsbad Coasters, and like some of the uniforms were built off of like the Coaster trains logo and color combination, and then I had other uniforms that were like, I had like the Highway 101 logo like incorporated into it, and that was probably my favorite one. I always thought Carlsbad Coasters like could actually be a cool sports
Hey,
team.
I'm invested. I'm bought in.
Yeah, I know. I know, right? I want to play for this team. This team seems legit right now.
Yeah.
Carlsbad, if you're listening, get the coasting running.
Shout out Carlsbad, yeah.
Shout out Carlsbad. Yeah. No, that is a beautiful. That's awesome that you had that moment with NBA 2K. I've had the similar moments with some of my buddies with Madden, where we would do like franchise mode, and then we like go through like the whole draft, and we're like there for like hours just drafting our players and everything, to the point where we're like on round like 400 something. We're like, all right, let's just simulate it. We're already done. We have half our team. let's just simulate it. Let's just play the game. And so yeah, we would do the same thing. We'd have our teams, and then we'd like have our players making trades and investing on our players. Doing whatever we can and see who makes it to the Super Bowl. And so that was fun. But no, I can relate with that. That's beautiful. Yeah, and man, they get so like really like into detail when it comes to like NBA and stuff like that. When you can create like into like little small details. I'm like, hey man, you guys are going full blown like manager mode with these games. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, you could upload, so you could like build all the logos and all of the design elements like on your computer, and then you just upload them into the game, and then you'd have to be like on the Xbox. You have to like place them and stuff, which would be kind of annoying, but. Yeah. It was great. It was great.
No, definitely. No, that's great. That's awesome. I mean, yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. And that was awesome. And you too, Jesse. Thank you for sharing these icebreaker questions. That was great. That was awesome. Great dialogue there. I enjoyed it. We got to know you guys a little bit more when it comes to the video game aspect and to the board game aspect. Again, don't feel bad, Matt. There's a lot of people that are not as big gamers. It's fine. You're still in the nerd world. You're still welcomed into this nerd world, as well.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Stuff like that. But Jesse, great selections on the video games and stuff, and the board games, and you too as well, Matt, here. But now that we got those icebreaker questions out, let's get down to the meat. Let's get to know Matt and Jesse from Dadland Games here. You guys kind of explained a little bit. You guys had some theater background. Is that where you guys met? You said you met through that?
We did. We met. We were still in college at that point, and then that summer we just were randomly paired together as roommates, and it was like a hugely transformative summer for me. I met my wife that summer as well. And at 2 years ago, Matt officiated our wedding.
Nice.
So we stayed close. After college, we both moved to Los Angeles. We were doing some improv comedy stuff together at the time.
Nice.
And I think we've always really bounced ideas off each other, whether we've been directly collaborating or not. And then Matt had a couple kids of his own, and came to me with the idea for Poopy Diapers, a game kind of centered around that experience. And I was pretty immediately on board.
Definitely. No, awesome. That's so cool. Yeah, it's cool to see how like you guys came together and like the story behind that. Matt, you said you had that idea for Poopy Diapers, so if we can dive right into it here. You guys have a game called Poopy Diapers from Dadland Games. If you want to guide us of like why you wanted to create this game, there it is. There. I was hoping you'd do some product placement there. There's a Poopy Diapers game.
I'll do planning.
There you go. If you want to guide us, maybe for those that are listening that have never even heard of this, that never even don't know what it is, why Poopy Diapers? If you want to give us the origin a little bit, and then we can dive more deeper into that. But yeah, if you want to give us your little elevator spiel of Poopy Diapers, floor is yours.
Yeah, for sure. So show the box again. So I'll tell you like kind of what the game is, and then I can get into like origin story of it. But I guess the way I describe it, so we describe it as a quick and stinky game for new parents, former babies, or anyone who's ever pooped their pants. And the idea of it's pretty straightforward. You can pull some of the cards out, but you essentially have these poop cards.
There you
go. And then you got these diaper cards. And the basic function of the game is that you are pooping, and then you are changing the diapers. And throughout the game, you're trying to cover, you're playing poop cards in front of you. You're trying to cover them with diaper cards. But then there's all sorts of chaos that ensues along the way. Blowouts you can play on your opponents. Specialty cards that give you power-ups like prune juice, potty training, Grandma Jean. attack cards like diarrhea, or diaper thief. So it's very. We wanted a game. It was really important to us to have a game that is genuinely strategic. So like we're mainly aiming for like young millennial parents, right? Like myself, who if you're going to sit down and play with your other friends and you're all in your 30s or whatever it is, we wanted a game that was strategic enough for adults to play and have replayability, but we want it to be simple enough that people who have this game probably have kids, and some of those kids might be a little older. So we wanted the game to be simple enough that if you got a 6-year-old, 7-year-old, they can play too, and they also find it funny. So it's very family friendly. And when we were play testing this, we had kids as young as 5 who played it successfully, and we had people as old as grandparents who had a great time with it too. So it's very much like any age would have a great time with it. So to get into like the origin of the game and the company, and then you can ask us questions, whatever you want us to get more detail with, but
for sure.
It was actually inspired by, I mentioned I was a teacher, a former student of mine. And I've always, Jesse and I are basically just constantly making up games. It's like our entire personality is just walking around and inventing games in every moment.
I love it.
And some of those are like silly little improv games we'll, play for 30 seconds. And then, we've also always been brainstorming ideas for bigger, large scale games. And there's a number of games in my life that I've written out rules for and just never actually made it because I just didn't know how to take that step.
Just for 30 seconds, some games become a theme for years. Matt, do you want to tell about Sandwich at College?
Yeah, this is one of our favorite, like random, funny little games to play.
Okay.
We're just like walking around. This might be very hard to do with the lag on this platform, but what you do is you say, let's make a sandwich, 1, 2, 3. And then you either say top bread, bottom bread, or any filling of a sandwich. You say like turkey, lettuce, whatever it is, right? And to win the game, you have to have exactly one person say top bread, exactly one person say bottom bread, and then anyone else who's playing has to say a filling. If you get 2 top breads, no sandwich. 2 bottom breads, no sandwich. No, right? So it's just like it's actually another thing I'll do with my students sometimes, like as a warm-up beginning of class. We'll do it the whole class, which is very hard because you need 1 top bread, 1 bottom bread, and 36 fillings and no duplicates. But so it's like stuff like that. We used to play a game in college that we called 2-man scarf, where we'd tie 1 scarf that blindfolded both of us at the same time and just try to walk around and see how far we get without crashing into stuff. And it's just like our whole, like, it's just our personality, right? But anyway, so I was on Instagram, and I saw this former student of mine was selling a game. It was like this little card game, and it was really cool. It was really creative, and he'd done all the design, and I reached out to him, and I was like, how did you make this? Like, I've always wanted to make games. I have all these games I've invented in my head, but I never knew like how to actually make one. And he told me about the Game Crafter, which I don't know if you've come across that website at all, but it's basically on-demand game design. So you can like design your components, you upload your components for your cards and your board design or whatever, and then you can just get like 1 copy printed or 2 copies printed, and then you can sell games through that website if you want. Like, oh, your friends want to buy a copy. Well, they can just buy one through that website, and they'll print 1 and send it to them. So you don't need to like print 1,000. So that's what originally I was like, oh, that's so cool. I should make a game because now I know that's a thing. I can just make one for fun. And I was sitting there, and I just, put my kid to bed and been changing diapers all day. And I was like, changing a poopy diaper would be a very funny theme for a card game that I don't think exists yet. So I went online, I was looking it up. I was like, there's no game. It almost seems shocking to me that there's not already a game about changing poopy diapers. It seems so like a perfect fit. Like, it seems so natural. So I started thinking of how to do it, and I was writing out the directions. And by the end of the night, I like invented an entire first draft of this game.
Nice.
And then like by 24 hours later, I had this whole vision of like, I don't want to stop there, that you could do games for every stage of parenting. You could do games about babies learning to talk. You could do games about temper tantrums. You could do like, I had all this stuff, and I was like, wait, this could be a thing. This could be a thing.
This is the bones of a company. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the bones of a company. So then I already in my head had moved off of the idea of just doing the game like through Game Crafter. And I was already starting to research, like, how do you like mass produce a card game?
Yeah.
Like if you want to like make a game and sell a game, how do you do that? So sort of researching it and learning everything I could and reading, blog posts and watching videos. And I tend to get carried away really, really quickly when I have a creative idea. And then I reached out to Jesse because I was like, if this is going to be a thing, I need to do this. This isn't a one person idea. This needs to be a collaborative thing. And Jesse was the obvious and only answer to that, to that thought. So I reached out to Jesse. I was like, Jesse, I have something I need to pitch to you. If you're not into it, I need you to just be honest and tell me. And I pitched him the whole thing. And I was like, do you want to go in on this 50-50? Do you want to start a card game company and see what happens? And within like 4 seconds, he had agreed. And here we are a year and a half later with 1,000 copies of Poopy Diapers has just shown up that we're now about to start selling. So.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. That is so cool, man. Oh, thank you so much for sharing that origin here. I mean, I'm pretty sure you might want to add on to that stuff. But yeah, go ahead if you would like to add.
Yeah, sure. Well, I did agree basically immediately.
Nice.
and I think for me, the things that really attracted me to it, I think I even said in the games that I was saying were some of my favorites. Unique mechanics really do excite me. And even in that first draft of Matt's idea for Poopy Diapers, there were a couple ideas which I just hadn't seen paired together before that were really, really fun. One of them being a almost randomized end to the game, which just adds this level of urgency. And then the idea that you're able to play on anybody's play space as you're going. So you are trying to build sets, and you're trying to build an engine which helps you to build sets more quickly. But you're also simultaneously doing your offense and defense, trying to sabotage. That was really exciting to me. And then on the other side, I loved the idea of the company as a whole. In looking up if this thing already existed, we found a lot of gifts for baby showers and things like that. But a lot of them kind of like ended at the gag gift, if you will. It would be like, oh, you open this up and you're like, oh, that's funny. And it kind of like maybe goes on a shelf or ends up in a landfill or something like that. And I kind of was thinking, wouldn't it be cool if we could get something that is funny, that really captures like a lot of the hilarious things that occur when you've got a newborn, when you have a family, and gives you the satisfaction of replayability. So we actually did a lot of tuning of the game. Nice. We did a national tour and sent it around for play testing. And worked it out so that it can be played with 2 players all the way up through 10 players. And so it's like, okay, this is something that, when you're a very busy new parent and you're just waiting for like a 15-minute break when the baby falls asleep, you don't want to do all that much. You just want to like whip out a quick game, entertain yourself. It's that, but it also could be that thing when, you're getting together with your old friends, the baby's with the grandparents, and you're able to like laugh about some of those experiences that you've had together recently.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's wonderful. That's great. I love that. I love that how you guys created a game that's like just quick, easy, but also like not just super quick and easy where it's like, oh, you're done. But it's like you have to think about it a little bit and have to strategize. I love those types of games. Nothing wrong with those, kind of, I like to say beer and pretzel games where like it's minimal thinking, you just play. Nothing wrong with those. Those have those those set of group of friends that you can play. But I like this game because it's more of like, hey, it's a game that you don't have to think that hard, but you don't have to just like not like pay attention, like and still like play.
You gotta
think
a little.
You gotta think a little bit. Yeah, like you still need to think a little bit, and I love that. I like those games where like it scratches that little itch of strategic. But also doesn't like overwhelm you with like, oh man, this is so complicated. Like it's perfect. I love those types of games. I love all types of games. I love playing the most complicated ones, the most bone dry games, and everything in between. And so I think this is a wonderful game you've created. I think it's a perfect gateway game for parents, especially for parents, a lot of for parents and for kids. Like you said, this is a great, like going through you guys' websites and looking at the architecture of your guys' game. This is a great family game to just play with your family. Have after you're having dinner, you can play some games, have some laughs, and then all right, kids, go to bed. And so
and that is our hope too, is that it does function as a gateway game into the broader game space, and then also into future Dadland games, right?
Yes.
Because there is this kind of like opportunity, this like inception point where it's like, oh, baby shower. That's like an event where a gift is necessary.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
We're filling a gap. And then it's also, well, that was really fun. As our family begins to grow, as like maybe this game you play a little bit more with your grown-up crowd, but as the kids start to grow up, they're a little more interested in games as well, and so they're like, oh, let's play this tantrum game or first words or what have you.
Right.
All of different sorts of focus.
For sure. No, definitely. When it came to Poopy Diapers, Matt, was your idea always it's got to be a card game? It's got to be a card game, or did you have other prototypes where like, oh, maybe if it's like a little small board with something? What was your mindset on that when you wanted to create this game?
Yeah, it was definitely always a card game from the beginning, and I don't know if I necessarily have a reason why. I think it's just the first mechanic I thought of was just this idea of playing poop cards and playing diaper cards on top, and then having these different random kind of like chaos events that can show up in the middle.
Right. Yeah.
I really like. I would put it in the space of games like Exploding Kittens or Unstable Unicorns. These kind of like funny games that are appeal to everyone. And I think a lot of those games are card games. I think that's probably why in my head it was like that. But I like the simplicity of cards. I like that the box weighs almost nothing and takes up very little space, and you can slip it into a purse or something very easily. I think it's just the kind of game and the kind of way that we want to market it. It just made a lot of sense to keep it simple and contain cards. Yeah.
Part of it did come down to the production then as well, as we were kind of continuing to tune. There were opportunities to think about other components that could be included.
Yeah.
But it's worth noting that we were coming up with this game when there was like the looming threat of tariffs. And
yes.
We learned that something like 80% of games are printed in China, and so the production questions were also answered in some ways by let's keep this thing simple. So just a card became sort of more and more appealing to us in terms of ease of production.
Like you said, Matt, like this game was giving me a lot of Exploding Kittens vibes. It was giving me a lot of Unstable Unicorn. I was like, well, this is great because I love those games. Those games are fun. And so this is another great game to add to the arsenal of fun, chaotic, fun, strategic card games that you can just have a laugh about, and then you can just pack it all up real quickly, take all the cards, put them in the box, and you're done. Not a lot of components to put away and stuff like that, which I enjoy a lot. I want to get into a little bit of Dadland games. Why Dadland games? Obviously, you guys are dads, but when creating the company, was Dadland something that just kind of came to you guys, or do you guys have different names that you're throwing out there for a company? What's the origin story with Dadland games?
That's a great question. I think we got to Dadland games pretty quickly. We liked the kind of pun that's there on like Badland, and we were thinking of a game that could, or a name that could sort of just evoke like a fun spirit, be open-ended, because we do have so many ideas for games. We were like, what's something that could give us room to grow, I think was part of the focus there.
Interesting. Okay, I like that. Dadland games, it rolls. It just rolls nice. It rolls nice. That's just smooth. I don't want to hold you guys too much longer here, so we're gonna go ahead and round off this podcast. At the end of this podcast with new guests, I'd like to give them the floor to just plug anything you guys want to plug in. We already talked about Dadland games. If you guys want to let our viewers know where we can find you, what we can do, I'll leave links below to anything you guys say so they can find you guys. And if anything you want to plug in, your Instagram, your wherever, your YouTube, whatever you guys got going, the floor is all yours. You guys let us know, let the viewers know where we can find you guys, and anything you guys want to share that we can support you and help you guys out with. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, first things first, dadlandgames.com is where you should head to pick up your copy of Poopy Diapers. Right now, we're doing some pre-orders through the end of January, and then things will be shipping out. There are going to be some deals there for additional games at discounted prices. We've got T-shirts like the one that Matt is wearing right now,
Yes,
featuring
I love
some of
it.
our Poopy Diapers art.
It's only a little blurry, but you got to check it out. That's the teaser. That's the teaser.
There you go. Check out the website to go see it. Yep.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. And go give us a follow on Instagram as well. You can follow some of the journey of the making of Poopy Diapers. The art that I did all of the drawing for shows up there. And we would really appreciate the support.
Speaking of Jesse's art, not to sidetrack this too much, but this is one of my favorite fun facts of Jesse and I developing this company. So all the art for our company is Jesse's illustrations. Okay, so he drew all of the card designs. He drew everything for our website, everything on our Kickstarter page. It's all his illustrations. And one of the things when we're playtesting, like the number one thing that everybody loves the most is the art, because Jesse's an amazing artist and cartoonist, and he's funny. And all that. But the thing that is so funny to me about this is so much of what's great about Dadland Games is Jesse's drawing. And when I asked Jesse if he wanted to do this company with me, I didn't know he could draw. I was reaching out to him just like he's my creative collaborator. He knows games, he knows business, like he's the one to do it with. And then we spent like a whole summer after we formed this looking for an artist. And like trying to find who are we gonna get? We have no money, we have nothing to offer, and we need someone to do this enormous task of drawing like this whole game. And we were understandably having trouble because it was like, we can pay nothing. Maybe we'll make a bunch of money off this game, and then you can like get something, but like nothing right now. And then at one point we were getting, we'd been having no luck finding anyone who really wanted to jump in and take the risk and do it. And then Jesse goes, well, I could just do it. I was like, what do you mean you could just do it? And he's like, let me send you some of my drawings. And he sent over some art that he'd like sketched up. I was like, why have you been hiding this? And then we start getting into it. And it's like, he starts sending me like, well, let me mock up a diaper. And he sends over the diaper. I'm like, Jesse, this is incredible. Incredible. And now on our Kickstarter, we had a tier where if people pledged a certain amount, we made a custom card for them that they can put into their copy of Poopy Diapers. So Jesse just completed drawing like 30 different custom cards, caricatures of all of our backers, and like just incredibly complicated, incredibly impressive cartoon work that is like the foundation of our whole brand now. And I did not even know he had a drawing talent for the 15 years we've been friends when I asked him to join the company. So
I'm like, bro.
And also just shout
I was
out
digging deep. I was going back to my,
work.
high school days, doodling in the backs of notebooks.
Yeah.
But when it came to the card game, that's kind of the aesthetic that we were looking to achieve, is this kind of like really cartoonish, bold style with kind of like childish finger painted backgrounds. And, it just all kind of fell into place.
No, dude, I love it. I was going through the picture of your cards, and I'm like, this art is so amazing. Like, Jesse, you did such a good job. It was so good. Yeah. We should have talked about it at the beginning of the podcast. That's just in my mind, but no, I'm glad you brought it up, Matt. Thank you. This is this is great, dude. This is some S tier stuff you got going on here. This is really awesome. I love it. It's like funny, it's cute, but it's also like very like thematic, and it's really well done. And like it's not like just stick figures and stuff. It's just like really well detailed, and I really enjoy that. I think you're right. I think something that drew me when I was looking at the game here is that artwork. I'm like, well, this artwork's like really good. This is good stuff. Like, yo, send me your artist name. I want to know. And it's like, oh, it's Jesse. Like, oh, there you go.
I'm that artist.
Yeah, so it's great. No, Jesse, you did a great job. Matt, you guys did a phenomenal job here with this game. I'm excited to get my hands on it, and play it out and stuff like that, and just look at the art, just keep looking at the art all the time. But yes, I just want to say thank you, Matt and Jesse, for joining us here on this podcast. Here, thank you so much for taking the time. I know you guys are busy. Your dads, you got a game going on, so you got a full schedule, and not to mention work as well. And so the fact that you took an hour of your time here to join me on this humble podcast, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us here, guys. If you're listening to this podcast, and you've heard us through and you've made it this way and you're interested, please give these guys a follow on Instagram. Go check out their website, Dadland Games. Check out this game. I think it's a great game. I haven't played it, but I really want to get it played now. The way they explained it so well, and the game that's like just very. It's a game that's I think it'll be good for you guys that are listening that are just not big into board gaming. I think this would be a great game for you guys to try out, give it a whirl, let them know, leave a review for them, let them know that this game was great. If you enjoyed it, let them know what they can improve on. I'm pretty sure they're open to improvements here. But please, give them a follow, dadlandgames.com. I'll leave a link below for everything you guys said, your guys' Instagram, your everything. So please give them a follow, guys. Thank you again for joining us here on this podcast, talking about Poopy Diapers. Again, I'm excited. I'm pretty sure offline we can talk some more of that nature. But I guess we'll round off the podcast here, guys. Thank you so much for watching us. Don't forget to give us a like and follow here on the channel here. Jesse, Matt, thank you again so much. Thank you so much for joining us here, for kicking off this new year. Actually, you're kicking off our new year here with our episodes here. So what better way? I was so excited. I was like, let's do this. Let's do it. Let's get some fresh content in here, and I'm glad I got you guys here to go, and I'm very excited. But guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Y nos vemos para la próxima.